Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Nice to have you aboard today. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the cattle market. You know, the cattle on feed report out just a few days ago indicated we had one of the lowest placements of cattle in the feed yards in our history. And needless to say, that's not a surprise to anybody that's in the cattle business. The surprise is going to be, when will it rebound? May not be as quick as some people think. Stand by. I want to talk about that in a minute.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. You know, therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
Need equipment that's powerful and efficient? It's only available in red. While other manufacturers are scrambling for long-term solutions, Case IH is already in the field, both with our tractors and our all-new combines and sprayers, featuring the same industry-leading engine technology. The world of farming is changing. Will you be ready?
I'm ready.
Straub International, we're helping Kansas grow.
Well, friends, there isn't any doubt about it that livestock producers are more optimistic today than they were a year ago about maybe buying an extra cow or two, maybe beefing up their herd just a little bit. Yours truly, I bought a bunch of cows this spring and kind of feel good about the future of the cattle market for at least 2 or 3 years. I just don't think we can turn around the number business in the cattle cycle that quick, and so consequently I think we've got a nice market ahead of us for the next 2 or 3 years. Still takes 9 months to have one of those baby calves, and takes another 6 months to grow them into a position to go to the feed yards, and everybody knows that cycle. In any event, as we look around the country, what are other people doing? Doesn't make much difference what I do at the Ponderosa. Livestock producers are thinking about it, but they're not gearing up very fast. And when we really start looking at the cow numbers, I like to go to Texas, where this drought was so devastating. Nationally, beef cattle inventories total dropped 3% last year. And in Texas, it was a lot worse, no doubt about that. Some of the counties were devastated with this drought. They not only didn't have any water, sure didn't have any pasture to feed those old cows, and they went to town. And guess what? The drought is far from over. Have you watched the drought monitor? It's worth your time, friends, to do just exactly that. There has been some areas of relief, which makes you think the drought is over, and that's what's so erroneous about this thing and why we need to be careful. According to October 9th drought monitor, only about 16% of the states were still suffering from extreme drought, compared to 97% a year ago. Now that would tell you, holy Toledo, the drought is over. But be careful, there's still about 15 or 16 states, and they happen to be the major agricultural states in this country, that are still in drought conditions. May not be extreme, but it's right next to it. So are we building these herds up fast? No. Some, yes. Feel mighty good about the way we set today with cattle numbers, and in fact, you could almost double the price of cattle today if you were thinking about numbers only for the next 6 months. Naturally, the economy has something to do with that, and the guy or the gal that goes to the grocery store and picks up the product that we produce. They only have so much money, and if the economy doesn't turn around, it won't get any better than it is today, in my opinion. Which brings on another interesting point. When you talk about drought and the things we've had, I'll bet you at your coffee shop or at your neighbor's place when you're out visiting, somewhere along the line, global warming comes up. Boy, we're into global warming, and that's what's causing our problems. Well, I went back in the 30s and checked out, they didn't talk about global warming back then. And it was worse then than it is today. But I gotta tell you, more people are not going to go that route. They're talking about major things in this country that are happening, including too many cows passing gas, that is causing global warming. Look out. Now, this all may change when they freeze their bippy this winter. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But I do not believe that global warming has more than 10% to do with anything when it comes to our climate change. Again, I'm reading information from people across this country, leads me to believe that. Whatever you believe is fine, but what is scary about this, there's a lot of people and organizations that might believe that it's worse than that, and they want some major changes made. So, friends, if you're in the cattle business as I am, I'm trying to figure out what kind of a diaper to put on my cows. Not yet. See you on the next Steckline Report.